Thomas Sankara said that a soldier without any political or ideological training is a potential criminal. And this is a message that we, in the core of global imperialism, the United States, especially need to take to heart as we go about organizing towards proletarian revolution, because in the environment that we're navigating, there's a very extensive spy network. There's a very extensive network of agencies and also mercenary companies that are ready to try to infiltrate our groups and sabotage our movement. We saw this at Standing Rock, where the National Liberation Movement, the Water Protectors, had to deal with the mercenary company Tiger Swan, which had set up an entire quasi-intelligence network to infiltrate the Water Protectors group and get their hands into that space so that they could incriminate people by doing things like planting guns and otherwise sowing chaos within that space in order to sabotage this whole effort. We don't want that happening to us, so the best we can do is notice the kinds of red flags which appear when a movement saboteur notice goes into our spaces. One of these red flags is a complete unwillingness to adhere to the principles of democratic centralism. Obviously, disagreements are part of the deal when you're carrying out a movement which involves a democratic process. Disagreements are important, debates are important, but when somebody tries to drive a wedge between members of your group, when somebody exploits a disagreement on a certain issue to monolithically push their uncompromising agenda in a way that consistently causes strife and division among your members, if somebody tries to weaponize an issue that can even be legitimate and that perhaps even needs addressing, and tries to utilize this issue for the purpose of unnecessarily vilifying a certain member, singling a certain member out, and trying to poison other members of the group against that member, and that's something that you should watch out for. I've learned this, by the way, from an info packet on common infiltrator tactics that I'm going to link below, and we should really follow the advice of this packet. I advise you to read this info packet so that you can get a thorough understanding of the kinds of tactics that these people use to destabilize groups. Another red flag for movement infiltrators, one which doesn't necessarily involve actual paid government agents, but which could also involve people who are just generally toxic when it comes to what you're trying to do, people who aren't trustworthy, is ideological incompatibility. Like if somebody enters your Marxist-Leninist group who takes the position, say that China is committing genocide against the Uyghurs, or that North Korea is a genocidal dictatorship, or that Stalin was as bad as Hitler, something like that, then of course you should try to win them over towards the pro-communist view. You should try to dispel these ridiculous ideas, and perhaps you will be able to win them over. But if they're obstinate in these kinds of reactionary and liberal views, and if they use these views as justification for vilifying the people in your political camp for vilifying communism, Marxism, Leninism in general, then yeah, they're probably not compatible with your group, and you should uh, probably give up on trying to win them over because they're bad actors. And if they try to pretend that they're a good actor, that they're just arguing in good faith, uh, then at a certain point you should probably stop wasting your time with them because they've clearly committed to an ideological faction which is fundamentally opposed to the goal of proletarian revolution. Again, there can be disagreements within these types of spaces, and debates of all kinds are encouraged. The debates are how we can progress this culture, but you'll need to have to recognize bad actors when you see them. That's pretty much all I want to say. Fidel Castro said that he started with 82 revolutionaries, and he would have preferred to have started with something like 15 revolutionaries, because, as he said, no matter how small your cadre is, if you have the vision, you have the informed theory, you have the commitment, you are capable of changing the course of history. Uh, these are the lessons that people who are trying to build revolutionary cadres in their communities need to take to heart.